freezing! Hello! Lovely people, welcome to another edition. This is upside down. Holy moly, there we go. That's much better. Definitely don't want to be... Oh God. Okay. Hi, Veronica here. Welcome to another edition of Treasure Tuesdays. I don't have the space to edit this, so you probably just saw me upside down, which was probably a better look for me. So I'm freezing. I'm in Boulder, Colorado right now, and I just have a few minutes here to make a video. And I want to share with you, first of all, happy December. It's an amazing month. Definitely as we near the solstice, there's going to be some challenges being brought forward. Whatever is unconscious is being brought into the light around the solstice. And on the other side of that is we are welcoming in a lot of light during this month, typically. So either we're going to feel really bright, or there's going to be really dark moments, and that's a good sign. Personally, I just had when I say a good sign, it's because the light is shining on something that we haven't been able to see. So when we can see it and then metabolize it or process it, be present with it, accept it, allow it, and break through it, then we are able to actually embody more light. The light is pretty much worthless without darkness, because the light actually allows more and more illumination to take place when we can shine it on the dark and create more light where there once was darkness. Personally, I am in Boulder and I'm visiting a spiritual teacher of mine. And oftentimes when I'm in his presence, a lot of my unconsciousness or something unconscious comes to the surface, and it's not very comfortable. So I've been grappling with, over the last few days, something that I'm going to share here with you on the topic of loneliness. It's a really important one. I was able to dive into part of my unconscious and see that there's a pattern inside. There's a belief that it's not as prevalent. It's not prevalent at all in my world, but it used to be extremely prevalent. But clearly there's still a little bit of entanglement with this belief that I'm alone in the world. And I'm sharing this not because of me and my story, but because I have a lot of people who come to me. You know, typically my clients, there's always some level of feeling alone in the world. And definitely community and friends also. I've just had this conversation so many times. So if you're somebody who feels lonely or alone, maybe you are totally alone, there's nobody around you, or maybe you are with people but they just don't see you, they don't get you, they don't love and accept you as you are, then keep watching. This video is for you. So as far as feeling lonely goes, or just this feeling of aloneness, there are a couple things. One thing I know for me personally is that the ongoing story that used to go on in my mind unconsciously prior to being on the spiritual path and not even knowing that it was going on was that I can only show a side of myself. I'm only lovable if I'm perfect, if I reveal certain qualities about myself that are inspiring and angelic and loving, but any of the dark thoughts, the dark feelings, any of that, I used to masterfully hide even from myself. I would do everything I could to shift my attention to positive, which is a great quality, and it's not the full solution. So as you guys know, my whole journey is devoted to living and helping others remember that the full spectrum of who you are is beautiful, is valuable, is essential. Everything, every facet. I'm going to pause here so you can really hear that, because if there's something about yourself that you don't like, or you've been trying to change, or that you hate about yourself, may that part of you hear that you are lovable. That part of you is absolutely just as lovable as any other part of you. And for me personally, the thing that came up, really to my surprise the last couple days, is that I'm not enough. And that people don't see me. They don't see who I really am. Or it's so, I'm still kind of unraveling it. Yeah, so that's a whole nother topic. But I was really sitting, and the key is to really sit and allow the feelings to come up. Because when we try to think about it and really understand it, we rob ourselves of the fact that the feeling that's coming up in response to the thought is really where the work is. That's where the healing takes place. So for me, the feeling that was coming up was this, it was just like free falling, like totally free falling with nothing to hold on to. Nobody's there. Nobody's there to catch me. I'm just literally alone. I'm here with my spiritual teacher, the one place I should feel totally caught and totally held. And it's actually the opposite. I feel misunderstood, like, disempowered, not being seen, all of that. And it has nothing to do with him, by the way. It's entirely a story that the child in me created when I was in certain circumstances in my life that, I was a child and I was disempowered. I was totally reliant on other people. I did feel scared and alone. I was a vulnerable kid. And actually something really cool that my spiritual teacher was sharing is he calls it the spiritual child. He says we all have a spiritual child within, which I call the inner essence, this innocence inside. And it's quite vulnerable, and it requires that we actually become present with it and become the stewards or the ambassadors, the true parents, the true mother or father of that very vulnerable essence inside. So if you are feeling lonely in your life, the treasure tool this week, for me, what I did is I just embraced the feeling that was coming up, which was mega grief. I had a good cry yesterday, really good. It came out of nowhere. And fortunately, I've been doing this work long enough where my mind doesn't catch the story too much. It's like I just watch where my mind wants to go, poor me, poor me, poor me. But instead I come into the feeling, and it's like, feel me, feel me, feel me. This part of me just wants to be felt, held, loved, accepted. It's a deep longing for what I think is God. I think it's like this deep longing to merge with Source again, to feel, that's a whole nother video, but to come into this, seemingly separate reality is painful for the soul, because it's like being booted out of wholeness, out of connection, out of oneness with Source. Because the way we see on this plane is that we're all separate bodies, when really we're just one life. We're one. We're literally one light, one life. And, but that's, hard to see sometimes from the beta level of consciousness, the brain waves of, and just the humanness of right and wrong and all of that. So what I did is I allowed all of the feelings to come up. I allowed every single ounce of grief to come up, and it was intense, and it felt like this deep yearning to be just merged with Source, with God, or the loving intelligence, whatever you want to call it. And I just kept seeing this pain that was coming up, this grief, all the judgments, all the fear, all of the self-criticism, it was like coming up, like erupting, just coming up. And I was present. A part of me was present and just watching with total love and acceptance. And that is the dimension of the self that I call the diamond self. It's like the most loving embrace. So the treasure tool I want to share here, I just shared a bit of my experience, but a really powerful one. If you do feel lonely, if you feel totally and utterly alone, the remedy for aloneness or loneliness is actually solitude. For me, I went into the bathroom. It was the only place I had privacy. And that's where I just started weeping on the bathroom floor. Don't ask why, but that's happened many times on my path. It just feels so raw there, and I can just let it all go. And there was this, I've been with a whole group of people these last few days, and coming into that solitude, I was able to migrate from all the thinking and all the distractions, the outer distractions, to deep, deep, nourishing solitude, where my diamond self, the diamond self, can actually rise, can actually witness and see in the silence, and be with and embrace and accept all the feelings that are coming up. So the remedy, this whole video is basically here to share with you that if you're feeling lonely, the greatest remedy for loneliness is solitude. Sounds a little bit ironic, I think, but it is the absolute truth, because you are never alone. Once you touch into that solitude and you breathe deep into your body and you become the one you have been waiting for, and you embrace every ounce of pain, you celebrate your joy, you celebrate your power, you allow yourself to be this multifaceted diamond that you are, and see and know and remember that your task, your sacred mission, is to take responsibility and embrace and love and accept every single part of you. Once you can do that, which happens in solitude, nobody else can do it. Not a spiritual teacher, not a beloved partner, not a community of amazing conscious beings. That's all a plus. That's like icing on the cake. The real embrace and the real remembering into oneness, which if you look at the word alone, all one, the real initiation into oneness comes from solitude, and really enjoying solitude. And rather than turning on the TV or eating lots of food or distracting oneself with some form of addiction, which the biggest addiction is actually thinking, trying to figure it out. It's just about being present. It's about letting yourself, this facet of yourself, the lonely part, rest on your shoulder and cry. It's like I was able to let this emotion come out, knowing that it was just this unconscious part of me, a facet of myself. All the while, the diamond self embracing. So it's like this dual thing going on, where there's a very conscious element, and then the unconsciousness is being made conscious. As Carl Jung says, enlightenment is not about chasing figures of light, it's about making the darkness conscious, or the unconscious conscious. So, long video here, but a really, really tangible way to do that is to actually envision that the alone or lonely part of you is actually, it's not you, it's just a facet of you. If I had a diamond or a stone with me, I would demonstrate again, but just one facet on an entire diamond is this lonely part, this feeling of loneliness. And to have a meal or have some tea, literally sit in solitude and in silence with the lonely facet of yourself, or you could do this in your journal, and just listen to it, give it a voice, let it feel. Where do you feel the loneliness in your body? And feel it. And when you eat a meal or you play music and light candles, have a date with the lonely part, as if this orphaned child is walking in the door and saying, please love me, please. I'm alone, I have nobody sees me, nobody gets me, I'm totally abandoned or have been betrayed or whatever it is. And it's the sacred mission that will radically transform your life, to remember that solitude is the remedy for loneliness, and in that solitude you will realize that you are not alone. There is an entire universe within you that is powerful beyond measure and is able to love and embrace and accept on an infinite level. Infinitely, anything about you. The diamond self inside is literally able to love you entirely. And the interesting thing is, for me, when I walked out of the bathroom and back into this space of community, I had puffy eyes and no makeup on and just raw. But I no longer felt like they didn't see me. Because I saw me, I allowed me, I accepted me, and I had nothing to prove. It was just like, I'm here, totally aware that I got caught in part of my unconscious patterning. And it's a very empowering realization that we have the ability as conscious animals. We're the only animal that can actually be aware of itself. It's pretty amazing that we have this superpower to go into solitude, light a candle, call in the divine, let yourself feel what you feel, embrace yourself, love yourself. If judgments are coming up, a lot of toxic judgments, write them on the page. Just get them out of your head and onto a page. I feel unworthy, I feel worthless, I feel crazy, I feel weird, I feel like nobody gets me, and get it all out onto a page, whatever that is. And then you can see from altitude all these beliefs, all of these lies, all of these misunderstandings that were created by probably a 3 or 4-year-old, within, all the way back when, before we really got and understood the reality of life. And before we could really see from the lens of a higher consciousness. So that's my Treasure Tuesday for you. If you are feeling lonely in your life, may this be a sacred invitation to really dive into solitude and read sacred texts, bring in lots of yummy consciousness into your life rather than distracting with television and gossip and whatever those things are, which just make a human being feel lonelier and more separate. The modern culture is a little bit challenged, certainly not conscious. So you have the power to be the one you've been waiting for, and I'm grateful to you for, if you've watched this whole video, you clearly are ready to dive in and rise up. The deeper we root down, the higher we rise. So just remember, anytime you feel that darkness, it's exciting. I get excited now. I'm like, oh, I'm about to push the frontier. I'm about to push my edge. There's something, I'm getting to shine the light on something I didn't even know was going on inside. So I just send you a whole lot of love, and happy, blessed, amazing December. As December 21st rolls around, solstice, may we continue to lighten and brighten and rise up as the stewards of truth and oneness that we are. You're amazing! And I am a little warmer now, believe it or not. Somehow connecting and sharing made me warmer. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week. Mwah!